Whee. Hmm. And do. Okay. That should be working. Hey guys. Gonna make sure the fucking uh, does that never line up? That's something to do with the aspect ratio. No, still not lined up. Yeah, I'm doing good. How are you, man? Mm. It's just 73 pixels off. Alright, I'll just fucking leave it like that so it actually works. And before we rocket from QE to save bonds, yeah, so this should be a pretty interesting week now that Moody's has finally stepped forward and downgraded USA debt. This is I mean, it's an inherently bearish thing. Obviously yields are going to move higher. How many French government bonds did you end up getting? Just German and Japanese. Is my 401k safe? I don't know. Is it like all in bonds? How does Japan react to Moody's? So that's actually really interesting. We assume that the majority of leverage in the carry trade is through U.S. debt instruments that are being levered up elsewhere in order to capture the rate arbitrage, right? If that's true, the value of those bonds will be affected by the ratings downgrade, and the value of future issuance even more so. So the margin requirements on that leverage likely will move higher than it was previously. Like big deal bearish? I mean, it's a big deal. Yeah, they were the last ratings agency that still had U.S. debt at AAA. And U.S. debt has been treated as a AAA instrument due to that. So, I mean, the question is with the drop in trust for U.S. bonds, is are U.S. bonds still going to be the most trusted uh, debt instrument? And that we don't know. That's going to be kind of up to sentiment. I mean, likely, yeah, they will be, but a little of that will have eroded away. No, we have bond issuance this week that'll be affected by it. I think when mm, so back in '07, we got what, a ratings downgrade like a couple days before. I think it was like 2 days before Lehman went under. Um, and then I think in 2011, when we got the second downgrade, um, market dropped like 7% or so. Um, so I would say that neither of them were followed by like bullish outcomes. It's not a bullish thing to have your debt downgraded. And Moody's held from 2011 till now, without downgrading U.S. debt, despite numerous warnings. The U.S. continued on its fast path of fiscal irresponsibility, um, and the timing for this is dangerous. We're right past an FOMC decision where nothing, no rate cuts occurred, nothing was decided. Rates were already relatively high. They'd fallen a little bit off of the highs of last week with the inflation reports, but forward inflation is still expected to be very high due to tariffs, and so long-term inflation expectations remained fairly unchanged. And they're downgrading our debt when we're like right at the cusp of that risk level for bank margin, um, as we edge over like 4.5 on the 10 year. And this could definitely push yields up a lot. It's without a doubt going to drive some bond volatility. Um, and bond volatility is very frequently hedged with SPX volatility, and so um, we're likely to see a more extreme or continued extreme reaction as we saw in the brief window that people saw in futures into the end of day on Friday. Not to mention, to the downside of spot, there on S&P there are fuck tons of sold puts. I mean, they've been selling vol this entire pump from the low, and as we know from where that positioning is concentrated, especially out on the June OPEX, which is a huge quad wrenching. A lot of those positions still have a very decent amount of vega. I mean, they're still a month from expiry, and so um, there's a lot of downside risk. JPOW may still do something. I could easily see the Fed holding an emergency meeting this coming week. I mean, they're not going to make any kind of announcements over the weekend generally, but I could see the Fed holding an emergency meeting due to a rate downgrade. Remember, they're one of the largest holders of U.S. bonds, so a downgrade in those bonds is significant for them. 85C TLT call is going to make me bust. I mean, I don't think yields are going to go down on a ratings downgrade. Probably, well, there could be some volatility in them, but I think overall yields are likely to march higher, and on the top end of the curve, probably finally push out well above the federal funds rate. How are we going to make Walmart eat the tariffs? We own the means of production as a socialist empire. Right? Don't don't we? No. Oh. Yeah, the more Trump does in office, the less and less he looks like Hitler, and the more and more he looks like Stalin. Also another person with a tiny ego. I had an NQ put limit order in on Friday, and it's the first time I've ever seen a computer fill me. Were you satisfied? Can the Fed pull the same thing they did last time the banks were failing to save us? If banks stop failing and they backstop them, sure. It really depends on how high rates go. And futures had what, less than 15 minutes for the news impact and dropped pretty sharply, right? Like 45 bips, just straight down. I mean, it's going to reignite all the fears that we saw a few weeks ago. So, I mean, I don't know if Monday's the crash, but I mean, the fears over the debt burden are going to be significantly more pronounced. Fears over dollar. I would say the dollar is probably the thing that's most at risk here. You don't know if it's not. It's true. I mean, we have a lot of like put leverage to the downside of spot. There's at least some resistance to a very steep drop. How much, I don't know, but some. Could go through UNH CRWV. Maybe. I saw the UNH bonds. Well, most of the tranches. What about them? They have 40-year maturities. Yeah, some of them. They're buying 100 lots of 83. Is that Coreweave? Calls on Friday? 6% is kind of interesting. Okay. Do you want to be a bondholder on UNH if they default? It's going to be a lot higher after today. Yeah, corporate bond spreads are going to move. I think about pairing it with a long. Okay. Are you going over stocks or doing the gamma strike examples like Nitu said? I haven't decided yet. I'll probably do tickers. I don't want to do Nitu's. Nitu's request is always trying to edge me closer to like giving away how I trade, and I don't want to do that. Like most of his requests. Although he did back off that for a while. I haven't at all. Try to shorten the time we spend on tickers. Very sneaky. You're also, as an otter, slippery. Only SPX positions, though. And that's like, Pickles Picks is like 1/10 of my trades. I'll share my rock. Did you guys see that I got the futures account from 250 up to 1,000? My win rate on MNQ is a little lower than MES. It's like 95%. Prop firms are scams. Just trade your own money. I got my futures account from 1,000 to 250. Big deal. All right, fine. I just won't brag about it then. Can we do Fubo what means since it moved over $3? I think we went over Fubo a little bit on Friday, while I was around, but yeah, we can take a look at Fubo. So Fubo, hold on, I'll just make like a quick list now, because I'll just do Fubo because I don't want to fucking hear you guys talk about it anymore. Coreweave, UNH, pick like two more. Not you, Poopy. I'm already doing UNH. No, fuck you. I'm not doing BTU. BTU is entirely dependent on trade negotiations with China. I don't want UNH. I'll think about NRG. Just three? AMC GME? No. Also no. CEG? It's just like an index substitute at this point for AI shit. Might as well just do SPX or QQQ. Nvidia earnings are next week, right? We could take a look at Nvidia. Is anything going to be stable this week anyway? Probably not. This is just a waste of time. Anybody trying to trade equities after US bonds just got downgraded needs to have their head examined. Correlation's going to pump. Coin could be interesting, depending on how much of a flight to safety Bitcoin's perceived as. Celsius? Did it ever go down? I think it's just kept going up. Is there a company you'd recommend for that Examinatino? What? I'd rather learn more about your futures trading and your thoughts than equity is. Which examination? You're not going to get that done. Don't lie to me. I would also like some more futures knowledge. I'm just trading futures because the price of contracts is too high on SPX to trade small accounts. Otherwise, I would just trade options. One's just standing in the way for the other. But it's not like it's not like a special thing. I'm looking at BBB credit court bonds right now. When you started the account, would you have a tick stop? What when it was down at 250? It wasn't. It's usually two tick stop, three tick take profit, and then that was probably like 60 or 70 trades. Then I moved him out when I got over $500, and then over $700, I went to two contracts. How's it different? I mean, I'm just like, it's just, you're just like picking up like pennies until you get enough money in the account that you can actually hold a contract. You need like $5,000 or $6,000 to hold like one ES contract for any significant amount of time. After fees, that's like $5 a profit. Yeah, about. Target? Yeah, I could take a look at Target. $5,900C were $220 at one point. I know, I bought them. Yeah, I mean, mostly on like MES, MNQ, like less than $500. It's it's like scalping one contract. So usually what I'm doing when I do that is like I'm like placing like a stop buy or stop sell. Um, in the middle of like a reversal point, so support, resistance, with the take profit just under or the take profit just above. And then if price action goes there, it's likely to go there. These are stop limits. The buy stop, buy sell, not the take profit. Usually it's like 2.3 or 2.5, depending on how much vol there is. So stop TP. This is garbage way to trade, but it works when you have like no money in the account. And honestly, on any other futures broker, it would probably work way better, but I'm using Webull, which is dog shit. At least for order routing and stuff. And then above $1,000, I start levering this up. It's like 1, 2, and then 3 contracts, and then like above 5,000, I'll switch over to ES or NQ, and then start from scratch. And that works up to about like 15 to 20K. And then I'll start levering that up, like 2 contracts, 3 contracts. I wouldn't suggest doing that unless you're already really good at trading futures. It's not as simple as it looks. Also, you've got to be pretty familiar with the stop limit, take profit orders. Yeah, and you can get blown up because there are limits. So you don't want to do it around news. Because if your scalp is in the wrong direction and news drops, your account will just blow up. But it's one of the more reliable ways I've found of building out an account that's I'm also really good at it. But it's one of the more reliable ways I found of building an account up to enough capital that it's actually manageable. It's not 100% win rate. It was only 96 on Friday. Yeah. It's between like 90 to 97, usually. Shut the fuck up, Kirk. Some days are better than others. I'm 60. I mean, it doesn't matter what your win rate is if you're like, if you're not maxing out on winners. One of the problems with this strategy is like, even though it has an insanely high win rate, drawdowns tend to be slightly worse than your profitability. How far along are we in the Gurk does intern work for the pickle jar? I'll probably be grabbing you guys in like 20 something minutes. I got some tickers that people want me to run through. So I'm gonna go through all 6 of those, maybe 7, and then I'll grab you guys. Yeah, but like, I mean, like if you look, they're really shitty trades. Like, hold on, I have the receipts from Friday. So like, it's like $11, $9, $30, $22, $8, 50 cents, $7, $13. And these are just two. These are all like 2 contract scalps. $19, $9. I only had a $1 drawdown, but that was just luck. I think the last trade of the day, I hit like a runner, and I was able to move my stop in time, like my take profit in time, and that was the only one that was like over like a couple dollars. Is that your version of the slot machine? I mean, I feel like it's got better odds than a slot machine, but it's very slow. Once you have enough money in the account to do it on ES, it's more substantial because you're 10x those gains or NQ. So instead of being like, you know, $19, they're 190. How does the order routing really affect things on Webull? Shitty fills on both sides of the trade. Also, very slow to process orders. Like from the time you like click buy to the time you get a fill. Weeble's kind of slow as shit. Well, that's why I want to do NQ this time. So I'm starting with MNQ, and then I'm going to switch over to NQ if I don't blow up before then. All it takes is like one errant, like huge candle, though, and the account gets wiped out. Interface awesome. Trades not so bueno. Yeah, exactly. I mean, they're not bad, actually. For options, their options, fills, and spreads are actually not the worst. But for futures, they're terrible. Imagine you're on the right side. That happens too. Yeah. What professional trading platform do you pay for besides Webull? I pay for? I mean, I guess I pay for like Quant Tower. I have the premium version of that. Because the free one they give you kind of sucks. It's probably about it. Gamma Strike? Well, I don't pay for that though. I have like 8 other brokerage accounts. 9. And then those are subdivided into even more separate accounts. 8 tick stopping MES. Support resistance. Buy sell stop in. The second I went green, I moved the stop loss in front of my position for risk. Okay. Yeah, I mean that's kind of just trying to like you're just trying to trade reversals. That's a narrow stop for trading reversals. All right. I mean, you can do it, but you must have just really accurate market data. This is my problem. I do all my advertising to the people who have already sold. That's why I love you boys. Beautiful. Are you gonna move up to live data, Jen? I thought you traded on like longer time frames. Don't worry, we'll all get a second Gamma Strike sub. I just want CME data. I want Gamma Strike to get big enough that we can just like become a futures exchange and I can get all the sweet, sweet data. That would be hot. It would be. All right. Let's run through this bullshit. Bum, bum. Alright. So we'll start off with Fubo. Oh, too many U's. So Fubo broke above and closed above Gamma Max on Friday. Looks like there's a decent amount of upside Vega. Gamma near the money's a bit slim. Let's check out on like 613. 350 is going to be hard to get over. How's Vol look? Vol hasn't turned around on longer time frames yet, so people are probably still selling the 3 and the 350 strike. And a little bit of a bump in volatility on the 10-day, but it's minute. Yeah. I mean, this is the concern I have with Fubo is that any move up is probably just going to get crushed under sold calls. But I guess there's like a little bit of potential to squeeze shit out at like 3 and 350 if it were to continue higher, or more importantly, if volatility were to pick up, which it hasn't yet. And options on like 30 DTE are still really cheap. So maybe, although I will say that with the what the fuck is that? Did it not change off of the SPX price? Huh. Weird. Report that. That looks like a bug. Um, Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit of upside potential, maybe, but probably not. Coreweave, not a lot of data on this. The lack of historical data could be a bit problematic. It looks like, Gamma fell off pretty hard on Thursday and Friday, even with the move higher. Was there news on Coreweave on Friday? Nvidia doubled their investment. Okay. Um, yeah, I mean, then the options data probably doesn't matter much here. There's some interest out at 85, 90, 95, 100. Um, Volatility is probably going to keep moving up on the 30. It's already pretty high on the 10. Options are getting a bit overpriced, but there's room. There's room out to the upside to about 88 before Gamma starts falling off really sharply. Um, and the top of the chain's out at like 100, so it may be that this is gonna be in a situation where they have to open new strikes and Gamma Max kind of becomes irrelevant. But we'll have to see how many of those strikes they open come Monday. I would say, I mean, the news is definitely bullish, and enough strikes went in the Monday in the money on Friday that there's likely going to be a need for the MM to continue buying into the upside pressure. So I don't know how the debt downgrade's going to affect things. I'm sure this has some index exposure, although it's kind of still too new to have a lot of ETF exposure. Thank you, Jin. Fraud's bullish, though, Poopy. Alright, UNH. So it's up about $40 from the low. Gamma flipped. Gamma exposure flipped slightly positive, but it's still below GN at 312. Some of this is probably just profit taking. I mentioned last week that 250, around 250 was probably going to be the low, as kind of ran out of gamma to the downside to turn things around. It does look like sold puts came in at the 250, 250 and the 260 strike. There's a bit of resistance up at 300 and then out at 310. Although the 300 test might be a little bit more important there. Volatility turned around a bit on the 30-day on Friday, but so did IV10. Options are still relatively cheap, though. Did UNH test 300 on Friday? High was 294.49. What if they'll benefit from flight to safety from the debt downgrade? Hmm. Nvidia. Nvidia is kind of still struggling with Gamma Max. Skew adjusted delta and total delta fell on Friday. Looks like about 700 billion in Gamma fell off, which is slightly more than in the prior week. I believe there's still resistance here and at 40. But there's plenty of delta all the way out to 50. This is far more index exposed, though, than Coreweave. Shorter dated options are a little too cheap, but longer dated option IV still has a bit of potential. 135 out to like 145. And 48. I don't know. Ooh, how did actually hold on. How did how did Nvidia perform in after hours on Friday? All to 132. Yeah, it did. Burry didn't take a short position in Nvidia recently. Burry took a short position in Nvidia sometime in the last quarter. Burry's updates on his Form 13 are not current by any means. It's likely that most of those positions and him getting rid of his long holdings were all entered well before the tariff decision. In which case, the assumption would be that he is no longer in those. I would not assume based on, any SEC form a fund's positioning. Unless it's something they've been long, like multiple quarters, and even then, you take a risk taking that information at face value. Oh goody, did that crash? Awesome. Okay, I think Epic Pen crashed. Beautiful. Well, hope someone got a picture of what I wrote so far. So I'm not rewriting that part of it. Um, if not, I'll try to go back and get one. Coin. BTC is overperforming right now, but I'm not really sure that's gonna hold up through futures open. Uh, Everything's just a fucking gamma max. Options on coin are pretty fucking cheap right now. So we got about $20 of room to the upside. Yeah, everything's just a gamma max, I know. Yeah, if crypto doesn't hold its gains from over the weekend and it risks off alongside the dollar, I think it's pretty bad for a coin. Like there's a little bit of room to move to the upside if people it's hard to tell if people would run to crypto here. But if they did, I mean this could go up a little more. Maybe like 280, 285-ish, right around there. Um but if it loses 250, it's bad. It's really bad. I'd probably be more interested in the downside on it. Should do a GME quickie. Why? It hasn't done anything interesting. It looked like dog shit on Friday. Uh, Looks like it's getting shorted. I don't know. I'll take a look at it maybe. Give me. Let me finish this though. If someone could send me a screenshot of the list prior to me accidentally deleting it, that would be great. So I can post them both. Next one's Target. Mm, we're just slightly positive gamma. Gamma max is moving up really quickly. Mm, maybe 10's doing pretty well. Supported. Okay. Thank you guys. And then the last one was Poopy Energy. Oof. Hmm. That's weird. Did this have new strikes open up? It must have. Hmm. Still got about $20 more room to the upside. My view's quite low. Maybe 30 starting to fall a little bit. Hmm. And that moved up with earnings, I assume. Yeah. I mean, there's no delta support to the downside because nobody filled in the earnings gap with options. but you could get a lot of put sellers in there really fast. So I wouldn't say it's as weak as it looks. What was this week? 19, 5/19 through the 23rd, right? All right, those are up. There was one other one. Oh, somebody asked me to take a look at Jammy real quick. I will, but I'm not gonna do a write up on it. Jamie still looks like well supported at 28, 27, and 25. So it's probably not going to do anything super fun. It did reject off of Gamma Max, looks like on the 14th. Adjusted deltas fell off Thursday a little bit, more on Friday, so weekly retail shit looks like it got burned off, but Gamma's still fairly elevated. Correlation with BTC is kind of ramping up a little bit during after hours on Friday, but vol's falling. Foreign exchange arbitrage is pretty flat. It doesn't look like there's too much covering, and we're a bit outside of the ETF FTD window. So maybe it continues to pull back a little bit. I don't know if it'll get under that support at 27, but yeah, maybe at most it could pull back to like 25. Options are a bit overpriced on the 30-day, way overpriced on the 10-day. So a little bit of vol selling opportunity still there, at least in the shorter period. And Gamma falls off pretty cleanly down to like about $20. So I would say it's definitely possible for it to get back to 25. It doesn't look like there's any covering pressure. And if indexes sell off, I'm sure that could help accelerate things, but still supported at 27 and 25. And then, yeah, okay. So that's it. I'm gonna go grab the quants. Boop. Hey, man. Yep. What's up, Dork? Are you done with your banana?
How you doing? Am I done what?
Are you done with your banana?
Oh, yeah.
Where's J-Fresh?
I don't know.
Hmm.
He's probably busy fishing a poop out of his hot tub.
That actually would make a lot of sense. Just trying to squeeze in some work on a Sunday. You know me. I do.
Especially because it's kind of a wild card how long it's going to take you to handle all the intern work.
It is. Sorry, it took me about 15 more minutes than I expected.
It's all good. I get it.
Let's see here. Well, I guess if we're gonna do equities, I could start off by going over the options macro. This is so weird because the news came out in after hours. You know that Moody's downgraded us, right?
Yeah, yeah. I was wondering if we could discuss the implications of that.
Besides credit spreads widening.
I mean, that's pretty much the implications of
Yeah.
it.
I mean, I don't know. It's gonna do a lot of damage. Here's a question I have. Because I'm looking at this, and then I'm looking at like Friday's price action, and the like push up above and hold up above VN into the end of day, and I think like people knew.
Well, of course. I mean, they're not insider traders, Girk. They're called informed investors, and it's classy.
Okay, well, a shitload of put leverage fell off not only with the AM expiry, but like a billion,
Did
like
we close
almost.
above VN
We did, yeah,
on the monthly?
yeah.
Oh, but not on the weekly.
I don't know I don't know how far they moved up. I haven't looked yet.
The weekly doesn't look like we got above it. We're just shy of it though, a couple bucks.
Yeah,
Well, yeah. I mean, I guess they just sold puts till the put selling doesn't do much, which it kind of makes sense, right?
yeah. Closed about
Get your
$13
premium while you
above the
can.
monthly VN.
And I guess since we didn't go above weekly VN, that means that they were selling puts on the. Okay.
Short dated puts.
Yeah. Yeah, you know.
Actually, it looks like Delta and Gamma fell off on the AM expiry, and we didn't get much coming back in the intraday. Adjusted Delta pulled back pretty close, a little lower than the week's low, so down to like I guess yeah, a little lower, 537 billion. And then Gamma pulled back about 7 billion on the SPX chain. And then SPXW similar, but not as much of a pullback or any pullback in Gamma, just a bit of a drop off in adjusted Delta. And Nave Delta fell off too. But I know most of the short vol is sold out into the June expiry, which is about 30 DTE now. But it looks like the AM expiry, like a bunch of the AM expiry put leverage fell off. Went from 9.78 to like 8.87 billion. So almost a billion drop off in put leverage, and then call leverage across. Well, I guess this isn't just SPX, but call leverage fell from like a high Monday. Yeah, the high was Monday. Call leverage fell from 6.47 billion to 5.64. So about a billion drop off in both.
Looks almost like a bunch of out of the money shit, just more broadly, to try to bolster the downside, maybe.
Maybe. I mean, put leverage moves up to the downside pretty quickly. The peak of
Well, yeah,
put
but like I
leverage
was
is
just
like,
comparing to the day prior, and it was just like it's the lower end, like on the left side of the put hilltop, kind of did this thing where it went from kind of steep to a little less steep.
where's that?
So
the,
just on the comparison for the fancy squiggles.
oh.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So yeah, I mean, I'm sure. I mean, if you're dealing with a lot of stuff, it would be nice to know that U.S. debt was getting downgraded, but I don't know. Could just be someone being bullish,
Could be.
being
Yeah.
very bullish.
Very bullish. It's interesting that the price action was kind of inverse the leverage there, though.
Yeah.
Like you would generally expect price action strong enough to push us over VN to be an increase in total leverage,
Oh yeah, but it
and
wasn't.
and not a big fucking fat drop off in total leverage. The majority of the put leverage is still like out on the June expiration and still 6.7% below us, mostly. Um, but that gives us a
Hmm.
lot of downside liquidity if things do sell off on Monday.
Hmm.
Because put delta just goes straight the fuck up, all the way down.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Neato.
Yep. And right when the delta value of those puts had kind of bottomed out too. It's almost like the MM is long all that shit.
They might be
They,
just a little bit.
yeah, just a lot.
Just a little bit. Just a touch.
Yeah, I mean, do you wanna pull up your little spread chart? Does that track after hours or no?
The Bamalama Ding Dong.
Yeah, the Bama.
It only updates daily, so we only really have Thursdays
Oh,
data.
okay.
It's like a day behind too, but so we're not going to see anything there. I mean, if anything, Treasuries after hours would tell us anything fun.
Yeah, I mean, bond like Treasury bond future, like 5 year, the ultra bond and short term bond futures are going to be very telling about the impact of the Moody's downgrade. It's weird because we've already been downgraded twice. So
Yeah.
the third downgrade just puts everybody at the same level, but it also officially earmarks U.S. debt as like AA plus.
Yeah, all this tells me is that deficits don't matter. You know, bond downgrades, yeah, it doesn't matter. None of that matters.
I mean, there's
I'm
got to
just
be
joking and
an
being
oh
facetious.
yeah. I was gonna say
Because
that's
fucking Poopy thinks that deficits don't matter because he's a bit simple.
he's just eternally bullish on the U.S. dollar being supported by our military.
Well, he's just bullish on the U.S. dollar being supported by deficits.
Yeah,
That's really it.
all right, and the military.
Well, yeah, but I
But
mean,
deficits and the military aren't going to support the dollar at like its current level. Like they'll come in if Dixie gets it like to like 50.
the problem is just when the prices of things go up faster than inflation because of deficits, then we have a problem.
We already have that problem.
I know.
Oh.
Don't tell Poopy.
Oh, okay.
It'll break his poor little heart.
Poopy probably is long TLT right now into a US debt downgrade, so I feel like his heart may already be broken.
I have a feeling Poopy bought TLT at 84.94
As he
on
does.
Thursday in pre-market, and then he sold it at 86.98 in pre-market on Friday.
His options.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay. That makes sense.
yeah, as Poopy is wont to do all the time with nailing his trades. He did have some pretty good stock picks. Not gonna lie, they're
Which?
pretty good. Wolf was pretty good.
Oh yeah, Wolf was interesting.
I forget another one, but he sent me another one in DMs, and
How did that do this week?
did it keep going up?
No. Stopped going up on Tuesday.
Oof.
Although it did get some support higher, like above 350.
Well, time to full port synth long. Let's go. Just gonna long 350 and let it ride. And be long at 350 with some dead calls.
I'd rather not. I'm pretty sure this company doesn't do anything.
According to their profile, they're an innovator of wide bandgap semiconductors, focusing on silicon carbide materials for devices for power applications.
So they're gonna run as long as China's supplying us with gallium. And then if anything goes wrong with the trade deal, it tanks again.
I don't know. They do amplification modules, bro.
So
I
it's
don't know
like
what that
baby
means,
it's
but
like baby FSLR.
I mean, it's EV MOSFET stuff, so yeah, they're probably. I mean,
They're both just
they're at the whim of.
gallium dependent.
Yeah. Well, I mean, more than just that too. I mean, all the other shit that goes into building their components. But I don't know enough about that industry to have a big.
You don't want to become a gallium focused exposure trader.
Yeah, right. My specialization is silicon carbide and gallium. Woo! Sounds so exciting, dude. My life would be amazing. I mean, it would be because I would be paid to just watch this one stock and get paid like 300 grand a year. That'd be pretty cool.
That's not how that works.
Shut up, Girk. Let me live in my fantasy world.
All right. Where's JFresh?
Thank you.
I tagged him, but he didn't respond.
I'm telling you, he's dealing with the poop emergency.
He was on. Was he in here with you, or you were just in here by yourself the whole time?
I was just in here by myself the whole time, listening to music and writing. I think I wrote like 5 lines of code.
Nice.
Yeah, they're 5 pretty good lines of code. They're not that great, but
so version 3, January 2027.
If everything is on track, we're looking at January 2042.
Oh shit. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
awesome.
And that's, that's the schedule holds and everything.
Yeah, of course.
It's about, maybe another couple weeks of development and then 24 years of testing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, it's coming along fine.
Oh, I know. I just want to fuck with people.
I mean, there's a few technological hurdles to jump through, but not a big deal.
So futures dropped, like 50 bips on the announcement, but they only had like 15 minutes of time before they closed. I don't know.
SPY dropped 100 bips in after hours.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, so I expect there to be a gap down on futures at open, but it might just fill.
I don't know. I mean, we still have support to the downside. Ooh, ouch. Actually, where's our support on SPX?
I don't have any supports up this high because I only have like 3 lines.
Pretty sure we lost 5,900, which is not good.
Yeah, we definitely did. If we're down exactly 100 bips, we're below 5,900.
Yeah, 5888 SPY is going to be a little bit rough.
Yeah.
Falling into the
but we'll be pretty far below VN, so maybe they can sell more puts.
Falling into like the positive delta.
Just sell more puts. I mean, I feel like that's pretty much the play, right? For big leverage boys is just more basis trade, more puts.
You're gonna sell puts into rising vol.
Won't be rising for that long if I got enough money.
It's gonna be rising if everyone starts dumping treasuries.
I don't think they will. Where are they gonna go? That's kind of that's the thing is I feel like everyone's it's like
just outside the
it's
US.
like the rats on the sinking ship. I think if anything, yields might even go down.
You'd have to be a
that's the
complete fucking idiot.
The thing, dude. Well, where are you gonna go?
Europe?
You're basically that's the same thing.
Taiwan? Austria?
You know where I think they go is the rupee.
Finland?
India.
You've been saying that for like 5 years. No one's doing that.
Yeah, because people haven't caught on
No, because nobody wants to go long India. The country has no infrastructure.
yet.
No one wants to fund the building of that infrastructure.
Yet.
Did you read that? Did you read that? I think I sent it to you, or at least I posted it in the quant chat. There was like this Oxford, like sociologist who wrote this paper about why all the infrastructure in India always goes to shit and how terrible of an investment the country is, because they don't teach any sense of like civic duty in their educational system, and their culture doesn't support a sense of civic duty. And so people don't vote for politicians that have any like well, they don't vote for political platforms that drive like infrastructure and improvements.
Are you trying to compare that to the US and how much civic duty we purport to educate our children with?
Well, we don't, but we're still flying high on the civic duty that we had in the 50s and 60s.
Hmm.
So we haven't in a long time, but we did at one point.
So you're saying it's a cultural thing?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, well, that's largely what like the paper surmised, is that like more emphasis had to be placed on the importance of building infrastructure to grow the economic base.
Hmm. I must say it's exactly lunchtime right now, and I think I smell my neighbors barbecuing,
Yeah.
and it's making me fucking hungry.
Well, you're gonna starve a little bit longer because we need to finish this.
It smells good.
I don't actually know what the reaction to the debt downgrade is gonna be. It's probably bearish. If that's
I
gonna
mean,
squeeze shit, I don't know.
I don't think it's going to be too terribly bearish unless it's followed up with Trump declaring war on the ratings agencies or deporting them.
Or just declaring war on JPOW again.
Oh, right, yeah, saying this is all JPow's fault.
Mm.
Hmm.
Ooh, we did have an interesting development out of SCOTUS this week.
You can SCOTUS these nuts.
Oh shit, there he is.
Excellent intro.
How you doing, man?
Thank you. Sorry, I was putting a grill together.
Hey, you pay attention to what people are saying on X. Is the
do.
overall sentiment,
It's
oh my
my-
fucking god, they downgraded our bonds, or everything's gonna be fine?
Everything's gonna be fine.
Oh, okay.
Nothing burger.
So crash tomorrow?
I don't know. They've all been so Pavloved into nothing ever happens that they're afraid to think that something happens.
Or debt just got
Well, they're just like
downgraded?
poopy. Deficits don't matter.
We're no better than Austria now.
Well, I don't understand what that means.
We're no longer AAA. We have
Who is AAA?
Australia, Canada, Denmark, Germany, mm,
Canada. Ooh, we should become like the seventh
Switzerland,
territory of Canada.
Netherlands, Norway, Sweden, Singapore. Singapore is probably better than us.
Oh. I don't know. I mean, the thing that they're saying on Twitter is that all of the ramifications of downgrades happened with the last two, and this one just kind of just reinforces what's already there.
Hmm.
I don't know anything about how people use these ratings to know, but
I mean, they're
Seems like
used
a
in
bad thing.
grading the value of leveraged products.
I'll say this: it's not good. But how bad is it? I don't know. I think it's embarrassing. I'm embarrassed for my country.
Yeah, because of our loose fiscal policy, or because that's only going to get looser.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have the stomach to actually do things. We're a silly people. I don't know who coined that phrase, a silly people, but yeah, we're soft, we're silly. And we're
Trump
not
said we
willing
were
to...
stupid people in a Truth Social post earlier this week.
When he said
I mean,
we,
Stupid country.
I don't know if we're silly. I think we're just unserious.
that's the same thing. Silly.
but we are. We
We waste a bunch of time like on shit that doesn't matter because we are soft and we have the luxury to have that, right? It's like how, back during COVID and stuff and back during Black Lives Matter, it was like a bunch of white people. Or even like when Biden was during the 2020 primaries, and none of the white people wanted Biden, but like all the black people showed up and voted for Biden because they don't have the luxury of like voting for silly, crazy liberals. They're like, we're voting for the guy who's most likely to win. We don't have the luxury to be silly.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Singapore's rated AAA for DBRS, Moody's, and S&P. See? Yeah, better than us.
Doesn't
Nice.
Singapore like only let in high net worth people?
I don't know what they do.
Singapore also throws you in prison if you smoke a cigarette indoors,
They might just
or if you laugh.
They might just
I
cane
don't
you.
think I'll have that problem.
Like if you feel senses of joy, they show up at your house, kick down your door, and
That's not
throw you
true.
in prison.
That's not true. I've heard
I don't think that's
Singaporean
true.
people laugh before.
Singapore
In private.
is awesome. I had a
If you're caught
buddy
smiling at a government official, they send you away to the gulag.
Okay, one of my good buddies lived in Singapore for a while, and he had only good things to say
I think
about
Dork is just very against their anti-drug stance.
it. Whatever. Oh, I can't take bath salts. I want to do people's faces, and they won't let me.
Rims and Tim says, as the only black person in this chat, I can confirm we voted for Biden for his first term. You're also the only black person I've ever met who wears Sperry's, so I don't know if I'm going to take your word for it.
You've met Rims and Tims?
Huh? I mean,
in person?
No.
Does he know your real name?
God, I can't meet him in person. He's still angry about his girlfriend who he thinks left him for me. Despite having no proof of that whatsoever.
Well, other than the fact that you keep bringing it up, probably because she's right next to you, and so you just are always thinking about her.
That's ridiculous.
Is it?
You're not making things better.
Can you tell I'm on opioids right now?
Are you? Oh yeah, because your
How's your eye
eyeball.
doing?
Yeah.
Because your cone eyes.
I'm turning into a market seer. All the good market seers are blind in one eye.
Van Hill says, I'm black, just not as loud about it. You have less to compensate for, probably.
True.
Wait, I'm just putting this together. Rims and Tims. Is rims like car rims and Tims Timberlands?
Yes.
Ah.
He's a defense contractor who wears yuppie coastal Connecticut clothing.
Ew. Coastal Connecticut is like gross.
Yeah.
Like,
Yuck.
Yeah. You're just like dressing for yourself. I don't yeah.
You're just dressing for yourself.
You're like dressing to impress yourself, right? Like that's like the saddest part about that. Like most of the wardrobes are like you want to dress to impress other people. But like yuppie Northeast clothing is dressing to impress yourself. Like you get all dressed up just to look at yourself in the mirror and then like don't go anywhere.
Have you ever
Like,
worn a like pastel yellow polo around your neck?
Polo?
Polo.
Like not a sweater, a polo.
Polo.
No, I didn't even know that was a thing.
Okay. They do that sometimes, like a little cape.
Oh, but like long sleeve.
No.
Are you talking about an
Oh.
ascot?
No, it's not an ascot.
What is mechanically? It doesn't make sense to me.
I know.
Well, are you talking about the thing where you take like a cashmere sweater and then you just like fold the sleeves over your neck, kind of?
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh, so it is long sleeve.
The thing on your neck, yes, but you wear the polo.
yeah, you wear the polo and then you cape the cashmere sweater.
You just buy all your clothes
in case
at
you get cold
Vineyard
later,
Vines.
Yeah. Well, it's just because your traps are cold and your back is slightly cold. That's why you wear it like that.
I want to trick them
thought it
into
was just
thinking
like-
I'm the next Ben Carson.
Yeah, definitely be aspirational to be Ben Carson and not. Oh God, what's his face? The guy who was like super anti-COVID vaccine and then died of the COVID.
Oh,
Ben Carson?
Herman
No.
Oh, Herman
Cain.
Cain.
Herman Cain. That's it. That was weird. I grew up listening to him on the radio. He was a backup for Neil Bortz, who was a big radio host in the Southeast. Anyway, it was weird when he died, but I was also just like, man, he should have gotten the vaccine.
I should
Shoulda,
dress.
coulda, woulda.
I should dress like New England coastal elite.
Do we want to talk about how Scott Besson? I don't know how to say his name. I'm just going to start calling him Besson.
Besson.
I like croissant.
Basson.
But isn't it Ent?
Besson.
Isn't it Besant? Or
I don't know.
Besant?
If
I think it's
French,
Besant.
he is silent. I'm assuming he's like a Louisiana French type guy. I don't know where he's from.
Like Creole?
Yeah.
No, I'm just thinking
Anyway,
of Basson
Besson.
cooking a
Besson.
fucking gumbo.
Yeah, Besson. Getting that good head sauce going. Besson was on TV today, basically said, sell your bonds and go all in on risk. Get out of American debt and currency.
Scott Besant.
He didn't say it like that.
Scott
He said the
Besant.
only way out of our problem is through massive growth in the economy. But it's basically the same thing as saying, we are fucked.
Wait, hold on. We could have massive growth in the economy if we fund it.
That's an interesting thought.
Well, how are we going to fund it when like $1 trillion of our deficit goes to interest payments?
What about the 9 trillion we're going to refinance this year?
Yeah, that's always rolling. That's all like bills.
Yeah. Well, not all of it. Some of it's in
Right.
bonds,
But
like 30%. So let's say
and they're
3
just going
trillion.
to reissue them as new bills. They're trying to juice. They're just continuing to juice assets, right? By
Yield
giving
curve
people
control is
free returns.
awesome. Japan did it for like 30 years. Why can't we?
Yeah, Japan's long end is running away from them right now.
Yes, it is. And they still haven't raised rates.
Nope.
No.
Well, the rates are rising.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing is, I mean, the Feds only really have control to do that when the debts aren't massive. But once the debts become massive relative to the economy, they really don't have a lot of room to dictate that. Right? I mean, there's just a natural floor on rates that, I mean, unless they want to actually just start printing a shitload of money, which I don't think they want to, right? There's not a lot that they can do because the debt's so big. And that's what people like. I get that nothing's ever happened, right? Nothing bad ever happens. That we can always just keep growing our debt and nothing bad ever happens. But
Wait, something bad literally
gonna
just happened
happen.
because we keep growing our debt.
Yeah, but that is a. So I'm talking about like something bad happening just from the mechanics of it all.
Oh, I see.
Whereas this decision isn't like a mechanical effect. This is a choice that, a subjective choice that people made that it doesn't lead to, it doesn't lead necessarily to any action, right? Nobody has to take action based on what Moody said.
It's
But just from a
true. I mean,
mechanical
well, no, there are
perspective,
mechanical effects to what happened with Moody's. We should clear that up. There is action that needs to be taken immediately upon the downgrade. The value of any levered instruments that are being backed by U.S. debt, they're going to have to come up with the difference in margin immediately.
how much is it really going to change though? Because we went from like AA plus to AA. It's like
Yeah,
AA plus plus to AA
up until
plus.
now, U.S. Treasuries were still being treated as AAA. So even because there was still a dissenter among the consensus of ratings agencies, and so now U.S. debt is just unanimously no longer AAA debt.
You can blink 3 times if you got margin called on Friday.
I didn't. No, I'm fine.
Okay.
Friday was a beautiful day for me.
Oh, I mean, like after the debt down, did you get an email just like you have to post this much margin on Monday at open?
No, but I don't have any, like, none of my leverage shit is being held up with treasuries right now. I told everybody I'm not buying treasuries again until they're at 6%.
Yeah, I'm
I
not
just have
gonna lie.
cash.
The last time it touched 5, I was like, maybe you just buy a few. But I'm glad I didn't.
Yeah. I thought that too. When the 20-year hit 5, I was like, maybe I'll pick some up. Start dollar cost averaging like a boomer.
Yeah,
But I didn't. I'm
It's
really glad because
like just a little bit.
now I'm really gonna get it at 6%.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
I wonder if the Fed is going to react immediately because RRP's been drawing down. I think there's like there. I didn't even look on Friday how much was still floating around in RRP, but
So there's this thing. It's called the internet. You could look it up right now if you
that's what I'm
just
doing.
go on log
I'm
on
going to look right now.
AOL. Get one of your. If you look through your old mail, it's probably an AOL disk in there. You can pop that into the
We're back
CDL
up
drive.
136.8 billion on Friday's close. I don't know how many counterparties though. The number of counterparties has been falling off pretty sharply too. But I mean that's the Treasury's padding right now, or at least the Fed. If repo runs dry, they're gonna have to stop QT. So maybe
Yep.
accelerating that timeline and stopping QT is the answer to the downgrade.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they say.
They've been kind of cheating a bit on the last few auctions anyway. Have you noticed that the Fed's been buying like 50% of the auction for like the last like 3 weeks?
Yeah, they've been doing that the entire time. Go look up. You can type in Fred long duration Federal Reserve long-term securities. Where the fuck is it? I can find it. I'm gonna find it and I'm gonna give it to you so you can look it up. But I'm only using one eye right now, so give me a second. Federal Reserve 20 holdings. Please just wait in silence while I do this. Make it extra painful for everybody.
I'm just enjoying listening to you mumble.
Do I sound like I'm mumbling?
Well, no, not really mumbling. You're just quietly going.
The last update to Fed debt held by Federal Reserve banks was 4.63 trillion, but that update was in October of last year. Maybe there's a new code for it.
I don't know, but JFresh, I missed it. How's your eyeball doing?
Oh, what did you miss? You weren't
It-
invited.
Oh, fuck.
You weren't invited to the procedure.
No, I wasn't. Did they take like a piece of really sharp like herringbone and like use that to slurp out the cataracts?
Okay, not cataracts. No, they used some sort of like diamond burr of some kind, and they scraped away the top layer of cells on my retina, or whatever. What's the outer
That's your cornea, I think.
cornea? No, yeah,
I think it's your cornea.
yeah. They scraped all that off, and then they put a bunch of vitamin B2 riboflavin in my eye because it acts as a crosslinker.
Hmm.
And they swelled it. They swelled the cornea to a minimum of 400 microns. And then they used a UV light and they burned my eye.
It sounds agonizing.
Yeah,
It's
it was
a-
weird.
It sounds like a root canal or like a crown for your eye.
Well, like the drops and stuff they use are really good at. I didn't feel anything until now. Well, yesterday.
Yeah. Are you gonna make like a lecture presentation on the engineering behind that device?
No.
Wait,
It's a-
JFresh,
it's
do you
a
know what
lamp.
this? You know what this means, right?
What?
You've ascended.
I'm the next Michael Burry.
Well, or Tom Lee, or
The next time. God damn it.
you get bonus points
My
if your
eyes?
eye goes lazy after this is over.
My eye still works. Actually, I can't tell right now, but I'm a little I'm crossing my fingers. It's not supposed to make it better, it's just to stop it from getting worse, but my eyesight has improved a little bit. Aha, I found the chart.
I've been thinking about going outside of market people to find people with fucked up eyes and see if they have any like sage investment advice.
Not a bad plan.
I'm gonna tweet at Sydney Sweeney and see if she knows when I should go log on
That's
for the next 5 years.
oh, that's cold. There you go. This is the Federal Reserve securities held outright, maturing in over 10 years.
I have total assets less eliminations from consolidation.
Okay.
Whose is better?
What does that look like on the log scale, JFresh? I could just find out, couldn't I?
How do you do log scale on Fred?
Ooh,
Oh,
there's a
that's
You go to the chart settings.
Yep.
And just hit natural log. It looks like the same thing, just dumber.
Oh.
Yeah, they have been accelerating. They have never sold any long-term securities at any point since 2020. Have only been adding, and since actually, let me just do the percent change from a year ago. They bottomed in August 2024, and now they are increasing the rate at which they buy them.
Nice.
So they're accelerating their purchasing of the long end.
Showing a rate percent change from a year ago on their balance sheet as being negative 8.09.
Yeah, well, the whole balance sheet's going down. They're getting rid of all their short end stuff and letting like mortgages that
Haven't they
letting
been
mortgages
shedding
roll off.
MBS at like a fixed rate?
They just let them roll off.
Mm.
I don't think they've been selling shit. They just let everything roll off and they don't buy more.
They've been buying though.
Well, they've so more than whatever the monthly rate rolls off, so they have to buy something to make sure it doesn't roll off too quickly. And the
Mm.
thing that they've been choosing to buy is the long end,
Yeah.
aka yield curve control, which has been occurring since 2020.
Interesting. Hmm.
Yeah. The original yield curve control was buying a shitload of debt when we gave everybody cash to prevent rates from just skyrocketing. Otherwise, bonds would have collapsed. So they had to buy all that. Then they just kept buying.
Yeah.
It feels
Now they're
good.
Ooh. The Fed likes to buy. There's an infinite amount of money at the Fed. I was just told
Think-
that. I had no idea that the Fed could do that. Somebody informed me of that a few days ago. Chat.
Was it Neil Kashkari who informed you of that personally?
No, it was Poopy.
Oh, Neil Kashkari, he and I ran into him at the strip club and we were talking about it between lines of blow. And he was like, yeah, there's an infinite amount of money at the Fed. I was like, oh,
Doing so many drugs, dork.
it's where I go to get all my insider information.
Stop doing drugs.
If you say please, I'll think about it.
Do we think it'll make a difference?
What, in my performance?
Yeah.
It'll no longer be enhanced.
See, that's what I'm worried about. What if the drugs are helping?
Mm-hmm. Well, just don't take more. Stay on the level you're at.
Okay, I'll think about it.
What else is there to talk about? I mean,
that's the big thing, is that there's a ratings
margins
downgrade.
effed and everything's juiced.
Everything's juiced to the tits right now. There's a ton of put leverage
Yeah.
underneath spot.
Oh yeah. The puts are net sold again, like hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a nice little ribbon of like bought calls above us for the next 120 days that are all probably just going to get vaporized. It's going to be fun.
If they're not already vaporized.
Yeah. The only thing that's been disappointing is that Bitcoin has been basically flat since close on Friday, but at some point, Saylor can't keep buying.
BTC is kind of interesting in that, like, I don't know how the market's gonna, like, the falling dollar should put downward pressure on it, but I'm not sure how it's gonna do in the face of like broader risk off due to rising yields. Like, gold should overperform. Gold will probably bounce back. That's in kind of
I don't know.
Gold's in a good spot. Maybe gold would be like the thing to be watching this week.
I mean, I'm just going to watch the Yildiroonies and my Bamalama Ding Dong chart.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing to do. Just watch yields. If they don't do much, then probably nothing's going to change. But if they keep going in the wrong direction, I mean we're in the danger zone down here. TLT under 85.40 is the danger zone, and then every time it hits 85, somebody just like does buy.exe. But we'll see what happens when it hits 85 again.
That's what I said at the beginning of the stream. I wasn't listening to you. GLD 305 by open. I don't know about that, but gold's down quite a bit from 3,500. It's got some room to move. Did you see mine and Dork's bet? Dork bet yields would go up. You bet they would go down. Looks like Dork's gonna win in a couple days. Didn't even take long.
I can't wait to see Poopy's foot in a condom.
Dork's gonna win before I have to kick you out of the pickle jar.
Is that the bet? That's disgusting.
Losers got to put their foot in a condom and take a picture of it.
Is it lubricated?
I don't know. I'm kind of thinking if I lose the bet, I'm gonna go find like the most ridiculous condom I can.
Nice.
Yeah, I bet the 10-year would hit 515 before it hit 45. Yeah, it's pretty ambitious.
Wait,
but
10 years already under 4.5, isn't it?
Or no, 4. Sorry,
4.
Yeah, that would have been a terrible bet.
You know, what
it's already pretty bad.
You should get those little finger condoms that cashiers wear, and put them over each of your toes.
Ew.
I was thinking I might just fill the whole thing with mustard.
Oh my God, what is wrong with you?
So many things.
I'm gonna go gouge my other eye out.
If you do, you're in charge of trading strategy development.
Yeah. He's gonna start reading tranches in Braille.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. So, I mean, yeah, it's bad for leverage. It's gonna push yields up. It's obviously bad for the dollar.
I think out of the money contracts might get more expensive too.
Yeah, volatility is likely to rise. I mean, yeah, I don't know how extreme the reaction's going to be. It's going to be, like another shock to the carry. So I don't know how many more shocks that thing can fucking endure, but so far the answer has just been lever it up more.
Yeah.
Like, just keep rolling the short end to the long end and hope you don't get blown up. I'm actually most interested in the effect that it'll have on, like, short paper. Like, everything from, 4 weeks out to 2 years.
Oh, that's another thing we could talk about is inflation expectations, the Michigan data.
The Michigan data was atrociously bad.
Like, holy fuck. Like, I am not, I've been very vocal about how worthless I think that data is.
Yeah.
In general. But the fact that people's opinion is swinging that hard, that quickly, is kind of insane.
I think more insane is the consistency with which their opinion is swinging.
Yeah, it wasn't just a 1 month thing. It's like multi-months now.
Yeah, so we're 3 months into continuingly worse consumer sentiment conditions.
Yeah, consumer sentiment is now at the bottom of 2008. Actually, that brings up another point. I haven't pushed any of this stuff, but I was just doing some digging because one thing I was trying to reconcile is that everything that I've seen kind of indicates that we've likely been in a recession since 2023.
Yeah.
But the one thing that I can't square that that I've seen a lot on Twitter that was kind of compelling was tax receipts by the Treasury, and they continued to be high and growing. Even now, right? They're growing at a healthy clip, and I was thinking to myself, how could we be in a recession and income taxes be driving that high? And I did some digging. Unfortunately, the IRS has only posted data through 2022. Um, but I've been doing some digging in terms of how people's real incomes have been changing as a function of which percentile they fall into. And according to that, like basically since 2008, the bottom 70% has been falling behind since 2008, and like that's only continued through at least through 2022. And so I think, and the other side is that
So
the
like
top
slower
end,
erosion of the lower middle class.
yeah, and the top end has been exponentially growing, and like especially in the obviously 2020, 2021, 2022, really started shooting up, and so it very well could be that the top end is growing so much that it's masking the weakness at the bottom end. And I think, that kind of matches with some, anecdotal data. I can't remember who published it, but I remember somebody came out a while back and said the top, I think it was the top 20% accounted for 50% of the spending, or maybe it was the top 10%
Yeah,
accounted for
I vaguely
50% of
remember
all
the report you're
consumption.
talking about.
And historically, it's usually around closer to like 30%. And so, yeah, I think it is a tale of. I think the big story here that nobody's talking about is the acceleration of wealth inequality, which is skewing a lot of those numbers, um, and hiding a lot of things. So we'll see. Oh, also, wage garnishments are coming for student loans.
Yeah, that's right around the corner.
Those are kicking in right about now. Yeah, those will start in next month.
I thought the garnishments were 90 days out from the announcement that just happened last week.
Oh, maybe. I mean, legally they can start in June, but if they want to wait, that's
I thought there was a grace period baked into it, but I mean, I guess I could change that.
yeah. Anyway, that's
I
coming.
wonder how
And
that
people are
affects
not been
1099
preparing for that.
contractors that aren't paid through W-2. Historically, the IRS has had a harder time garnishing those wages.
I don't know.
Hmm.
The whole slabs market is very interesting.
It's large.
Tell us more.
It's pretty. Honestly, the slabs market might actually be the highest quality debt instrument in existence.
You know what else it is, Dork? It's
Credit cards?
It's variable rate.
Yeah, I know. It's hot. It's so hot, dude. Like, if I was going to be a bank, all I would do is student loans.
I would do
Like, it's
micro
the
loans
best.
like they do in India.
Oh yeah,
Like
yeah,
8%,
like semester at a time.
8% on $100. Micro
Right.
student
Oh yeah.
loans. Oh, you want to eat tonight?
Ooh, what about cash advances on FAFSA grants?
Ooh.
Payday FAFSA.
Yeah.
Exactly. I have a FAFSA grant, but I need cash now.
Okay, here's the deal, Nuke. I want you to go to your local community college.
Right.
You can take $50,000 of Gamma Strike's capital, and I want you to find students who want an advance on their FAFSA. 15% interest. If you can loan out the whole 50 grand, we're set.
Did you say nuke or did you mean dork?
Dork.
I can do that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it's
Dork's just gonna steal our 50K, isn't he?
No, what I'll do is I'll
He's
go
gonna
straight
buy
to Sacramento
FAFSA.
to American River College and then go there and be predatory as fuck.
Wait, you're in
Find the most
you're in
desperate
Nevada. They don't even have lending laws there.
No, they don't even have colleges here.
That's not true.
Yeah,
I know.
there's University of Las Vegas.
Yeah, there's also the University of Nevada, Reno. But I don't count them.
Mm,
But yeah, I'll go do it. I'll go be predatory at American River College or Cosumnes River College. That's another one with a lot of poor people.
nice.
Why are they all
Yeah.
rivers?
Well,
Because this is
The
in
money
Sacramento.
flows.
you get your FAFSA money after the semester starts because it's a stupid program.
So you literally need a FAFSA payday to make it to the next FAFSA.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, kind of. The thing, well, you have to go stand in line for 2.5 hours at the bursar's office on the day that your FAFSA grants are approved, and then you got to go and pay for your classes at that point, and everyone's doing it on the same day, and so your life sucks.
Yeah, and then everybody who's on financial aid has to register for classes later than everybody
They
who's
get all the
not.
worst.
Yeah, so they get all the
All the
worst. They get all the worst classes, or they don't get the classes they need at all, which keeps them from graduating at the same speed.
Yeah, they get
Oh.
waitlisted.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever
Have
have
they
to go on the
tried-
wait list, Jfresh?
And so, in order to offer
Have
those,
they tried
students,
not being poor?
I don't know. I don't know if they've tried that. I mean, they are.
I think they tried and failed.
I think they're actively in the process of trying not to be poor. That's why they're attending a secondary education institution. But the ones that are smart enough to take advantage of our microloan program could get a leg up on the competition at a mere 15% interest.
Can we call them Zepto loans?
What does that stand for?
Ooh.
It's like 10 to the minus 21. Where micro is 10 to the minus 6.
Okay, sure.
We'd have to go with nano loans first, right? Because we got to build out the scale.
This is genius. Okay, we need to get a loan license in the state of Nevada.
Yes, we do.
This will be our
Put it
test.
on the list.
This will be our test.
I'll get it
drive.
in DevOps. I'll get it in DevOps.
All right.
Who should I task it to?
Torque.
Carl.
Okay. Carl.
Torque.
Got it.
Torque lives there.
Carl. Carl keeps threatening my BIP, okay? I don't
Is
appreciate
Carl
it.
here? I keep asking
we
Carl
should also
to do,
print up some physical flyers for Gamma Strike in case they want to try to grow that loan money through the options market.
Oh, you're trying to kill me. I'm gonna have to answer so many questions at the round table. What's an option? What's a call? What's a put?
It's okay. We're gonna stop doing roundtables soon anyway.
What if I don't have 100 shares?
What if I don't have $100?
You could take out a nano loan to supplement your micro loan.
Paying off microloans with nano loans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're like basically offering loans to pay off buy now, pay later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. My eye's killing me.
All right,
My
all
wife
right.
is having a bunch of people over, so let's do the.
The
I think we
predictions.
talked about everything. Everything's fucked, but also nothing ever happens, so everything's fine.
We haven't done one in a couple weeks, so we're gonna have to. Well, we didn't have a prediction last week. More importantly, so we're gonna have to start from scratch. I'm just gonna go straight down, like that.
You took mine.
Yeah, I know. Dark,
How
you're
far
out.
down did you go?
I went down to 5,800. Actually,
Right,
hold on. I think we're already there, so maybe that's not enough. I'm gonna go down 6.7%.
Okay. Well, is it my turn now?
Sure.
Okay. So we are going to open at 58.90.
Hold on.
Okay.
I gotta do like a whole different line for yours.
Yes, you do.
All right, I'm ready.
All right. So we are going to open at 58.90.
Okay.
We are going to close Monday at 5,800.
Ooh.
And then we are going to open Tuesday at 58.40. And then we are going to close the day at 5,800.
Hey.
And then open Wednesday. We are going to open at
How are you still on just Wednesday?
58.40. And then we are going to close Wednesday at 5,800. Then we're going to open Thursday. Hold on. At 58.40. And then we are going to close Thursday, sorry, at 5,800.
Yep.
And then we are going to open Friday at 58.40. And we are going to close at 57.95.
It's an exciting week you have planned.
All right. Monday close 5,700.
All right.
Sorry, 5,740. Well, no. Yeah, 5,700.
What are we opening at? I
Close.
need your opening
Yeah.
price.
58.20.
Okay.
Close at 5,700. And then we'll end the week at 58.10.
All right.
Oh, yeah, shit, I got to screenshot this.
Hold on, I gotta change mine to the appropriate. I guess I should put an open price too.
Excellent. Beautiful.
There.
All right, now I'm going to take the screenshot and post it so that you can make your post screenshot and post adjustments.
I don't have any adjustments.
Are you sure?
Yeah, pretty positive.
All right.
I do need to fix JFresh's because I took it out one notch too far, but there we go.
Oh, God damn it. All right, let me hold on. Let me screenshot it. Wait, hold on. That was a shitty screenshot. Here's a better one. There we go.
Cool. What data do we have this week?
These nuts.
Got a bunch of Fed speakers.
Of course.
Yeah. Japanese balance of trade. They better be careful if they don't want their tariffs going up. Now we got a 20-year bond auction following our debt downgrade.
Oh boy, Fed's gonna buy so many bonds. Yay.
So it's just gonna buy the whole auction. We also have a 10-year tips. We're pretty light on important data this week. S&P PMIs. On Thursday.
Well, the most important data already printed, which was inflation expectations, right? Because of the Phillips curve.
Wait, are you
So,
using a
we don't need
linear or
anything else.
non-linear Phillips curve?
A quasi-linear Phillips curve.
Mm.
These economists won't know what hit them.
Shh. I wonder if they've ever just tried printing the same data over again.
That's genius.
That's how you fix Fed policy.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that's how they calculate GDP.
What was it last time?
What was our population growth? I don't know.
All right.
Well, baby farms?
Yeah.
Baby farms. All right.
That's the end of the. Well, we already talked about predatory student lending.
That's true.
So I thought that was our baby farm moment.
All right.
Are we gonna stay in calls and discuss gamma strike things, or do you guys want to do that later?
Let's do that later. I need
Alright.
to.
Yeah, I'm hungry.
I want you
I'm also
Fresh
taking
to
my girl to dinner tonight.
rest his
So.
cone eye.
Yeah. I'll. I mean, I like 5 or 6. I'm taking my girl to dinner. I told her I'd do that. So
After 7 Eastern. for
Okay.
me.
after 7
I'll be
Eastern, no, I'm like after if we're doing an after time, it's gonna be like after
I'm
like
telling you when I'm available.
10
after
Eastern?
11 Eastern.
Whenever-
11 Eastern?
After 7 Eastern. That's fine.
Okay. Yeah.
Alright.
Just fucking bother me.
Yeah, she's your fiance now,
Okay.
Dork. Put some respect on that name.
Yeah,
Yeah,
not
sorry.
girlfriend.
Yeah.
My bad.
Wait, did you renege? Did you take it back?
I don't know. Do I have to? Will I get canceled?
Wait, did you
Wait,
take
hold on,
back
what?
the-
Wait, no, I didn't take back the fiance thing. No.
Oh, okay. Well, you gotta
I didn't do a take back.
shape up.
You kidding me? I'm
Really?
not that strapped for cash.
All right, now that we're engaged, I need you to sell the ring.
I need you to return it real quick, okay? I want to buy some 0 DTs.
Yeah, you got the emotion out of it you needed, but we don't need the ring.
Right, yeah, it's just a symbol.
Yeah.
Just replace it with
My
like
wife and
a curled up paper clip.
My wife and
I
I,
was
haven't
thinking
worn our
ring
rings
pop.
in years. They're so
I don't know any married people
make
that
no
wear their
sense.
rings.
They make no sense. They just get in the way. I mean, she works with her hands, and I.
Well, my
Just don't like
fiance
the
wears
rings.
hers on like a necklace thing that like it hangs on. But she can like pop it off if she wants to wear it for a special occasion.
So is it like the first time you were strapped down to the sex chair, Jay Fresh, and she still had the engagement ring on, and you were like, "We're never doing that again."
Yeah, it was really uncomfortable when the finger went up there.
Did it get caught on your dingleberries?
All right, that's it. The stream's over.
All right.
Later, guys.
Thanks
ya.
for having us.
Have a good one. Thanks for being on.
I'm 2 days into tuning, and I'm 3 ages behind all my friends.
Guys, if you have any questions, I'll be doing research stuff for most of the rest of the day, so I should be around if I didn't get to them on the stream. Thank you all for tuning in. I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. Have a good night. Later.